Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday the 13th. We're going to bring you the Ohio State ATI Turfgrass webinar series. Today we want to have you begin thinking about designing a drainage system for this area over here. This is an area that we would like to have research plots put on, and so any basic drainage project is going to begin with basic site evaluation. And so what we want to do today is shoot grade on the site, determine what kind of slope we're working with. That's going to determine the routing of our trenches, where we're going to exit these trenches, and so on and so forth. So first thing is, again, setting up our tripod. Again, I like to extend the legs all the way. I'm relatively tall, so I'm going to keep it up, step them down in. And we'll do a little bit of our course grading once we've got our scope mounted. Again, handle these with care. And you want to position this, if you remember, where our adjustment screws are in line with the tripod legs. So I'm going to do a little course adjusting now just to try to get my bubble closer. Okay, I like that. I'll come in and do my fine adjusting. So I'm centered. I'm going to rotate at 90 degrees. Still centered. So this auto level is set up to do some grade work. So we've identified points on your worksheet. Shane, how many points are there? There's 9 points. And so along with this, there'll be a worksheet that'll be posted on Karma, and you'll be able to see the points that we're shooting. But we're going to go through and shoot the grade of these elevations. So Tyler's going to walk with the grade rod. Shane's going to make sure the camera is on yours truly. And I'm going to yell out what the grade measurements are. So hopefully you can hear me all right. So we're starting at point 1. Again, use your triangle to locate the grade rod. And so this is at our catch basin. I am reading 6.95, 6.95 at reading 1. It's a beautiful day out here right now. Can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be. You'll get tired of my narration by the end of this semester. Okay, point number 2. 4.88. I repeat, 4.88. Point number 2. And again, we're going to give you the distances between these points. You would need that to calculate the slope. Okay, point number 3. 3.11. 3.11. Tyler's getting his exercise. So again, if you skip this step, you're totally guessing. You know, you need to shoot grade to determine the areas of maximum fall. Point number 3. 5.70. 5.70. 5.70, yep. 5.00. 5 on the money. Again, checking my sight level. Every once in a while, make sure the bubble hasn't moved. .94. 3.94. So you can see we've got some slope here, and there's a significant amount. I don't know what it's going to calculate out to be, but you know, if the slope was less, you might want to shoot points closer together to kind of see that. But I think in general here we're going to have a pretty constant amount of slope to work with. In general though, after a rainfall, this area sits saturated for days. We want to use it as a turf grass research site, so we're really interested in getting the site to drain faster. Okay. 3.53. 3.53. .58. It's pretty level over there, it's looking like. .51. This used to be the old parking lot for the dormitory, so I'm not quite surprised to see that over there towards the edge it's actually pretty level. But those are the measurements that you're going to want to record on your worksheet. Again, that worksheet will be uploaded. You can kind of see the order that we went with the points. You'll want to do the same on your worksheet. So we're going to give you a little bit more information here, but that's the end of this section. All right, so as I mentioned before, the goal of this site is to use it for experimental research. We want to evaluate some different turf type, tall fescue, and Kentucky bluegrass cultivars. And in general, as you look up the site, you can see that the entire surface basically drains down this swale and kind of deposits all the water out here. And again, it does sit wet for days and days. You drive utility vehicles through here, they just rut it up. And so one of the things I like to do when I'm trying to evaluate what's going to be needed from a drainage standpoint is I just like to take some basic soil samples just to evaluate what the profile looks like. And knowing that, again, this was an old parking lot, I'm also curious to know if we're going to run into old remnants of tailing. So let's take a look and see what we can find. So my soil probe pretty much stopped. I don't know if you can hear that. That's really saturated. We've had a lot of rain. You can see I can rib it pretty easily. I'm more concerned that my soil probe just completely bottomed out here. Let's keep going up and see if we take another one if we get the same thing. Again, hitting a hard layer. Some of this is starting to make sense why we maybe have the drainage issues that we do. I can see here I've got a piece of almost what appears to be maybe a crushed gravel layer. Maybe that's the base of the parking lot. So okay, that's a better sign. You guys hear that? See it? We did receive rain last night. I don't know how much. Do you guys know? It rained pretty hard. There was thunder and lightning. This is just totally saturated. Again, kind of can see the pebbles and gravel, so it looks like we may have a little bit of layering going on. Let's take one more up in this corner. The significance of the layers may be, if it's impervious, obviously it's raising the water table. Wow. And so, you know, drainage would have the ability, as this water moves along the surface, if we create drains, it'll begin to enter the drains and exit off site, because as it's looking like right now, there's not much subsoil there for it to go through. I think my guess is perhaps that you know, they did tear all this out. Again, it was a parking lot. My guess is they maybe stripped the asphalt out but didn't strip off the base, which would be some type of crushed gravel, limestone gravel probably, and they just smeared topsoil over it. So I can kind of see why we're having some of these drainage issues, because it looks like there's probably some type of impervious surface down there. Okay, so you've got some basic elevations of the site. As you can see, definitely there's some issues in the subsoil that are contributing to why we have a drainage issue here. So I'm kind of glad we went through and decided what's going on underneath. But ultimately you can see the whole site is draining towards this point. This is a surface catch basin. But if you get in here and look, you can see basically we have tile running underneath. This catch basin drains to the one next to it. But in general, this is where we would like the drainage project to exit to. And so what you might do in a situation like this is take a cordless drill, a hammer drill, and drill holes in the side of this catch basin close enough that when you're done you could take a hammer and knock it out, and we would exit our drain into here. So do you remember the depth on this, Shane? 2.5. So this catch basin is 2.5 feet. If you remember the first point that Tyler shot from, he shot it from the top. So if you think about the base of this, it's going to be 2.5 feet in elevation lower than the top of it was. So I have the site map that I'll provide for you of what the old dormitory was. You can kind of see how the drainage was laid out. But basically, you're going to be tasked as an assignment to come up with a drainage plan for this site, okay? And I'll give you complete freedom to do it, but what we're gonna wanna know is the design, which I'm gonna recommend doing in PowerPoint. We're gonna wanna know the materials cost, so we wanna do a French style drain where you're gonna excavate out the material, lay in the pipe, backfill with gravel, and we'll cover the surface with about a 3 or 4 inch layer of sand sitting over that pea gravel, which you would then lay your sod over. We don't have sod in this case because this is just a crabgrass farm in the summer months. So I'll have more details about the assignment in Carmen, but this is to give you a lay of the land. This is our first video, so please excuse if it's not high production quality, but we'll see how this goes. If it's something you guys enjoy, we'll continue to do it. If it seems like it's not being as effective as a teaching tool, we will not continue to do it. So we hope you're all staying safe out there, and we'll see you next time.